Now we have JEROME from Comet, and he has a very interesting take about adoption. And he says that the adoption final boss is metadata. Jerome, why don't you tell us all about it?
Sure, my pleasure. Very happy to be here. I'm Jerome, I'm the CEO of Comet. I also teach economics in CNAM, an engineering school in Paris. I happen to be the president of Featureum France, which organizes TYCHEY, a conference happening next week. And it's super great to see a lot of events organizing themselves around this conference and thriving and getting bigger and bigger. At Comet, we have a boat close by where we host parties and stuff. If you don't know what to do or looking for side events, we have lots of things that we can entertain you with. So when we look at what gaming will look like in 2025, that's probably one of the biggest stake for adoption and bringing people onto the blockchain, because you can play with your assets. You can play differently with your assets. It brings new trends, which we believe will be super big. I mean, bigger than 3D and networking in terms of impact on gaming, such as using blockchain to bring new business models. Like I want to do rentals, I want to do royalties, I want to do subscription, but in a reverse way. I want to be taking fees on the economy I've created, the virtual economy I've created in my MMORPG, for example. Which means that a lot, or if not all, assets in a game could be NFTs or ERC20s that have interoperability, that can be used across games, across metaverses. That's also opened the door for new blockchain genres. Networking brought us multiplayer games where you connect to a server and you play with your friends. Blockchain can bring you peer-to-peer players, or having the whole game being generated through procedural generation based on the blockchain, for example. So there are lots of things that game designers can do with blockchain and can enjoy with blockchain. But that means also that games have to run partially or totally on permissionless infrastructure, having a good connection to the blockchain. So in this talk, I want to maybe focus on what it means to bring NFTs across games, and what it means to use NFTs in your games. Like, how do you connect with the metadata in your games? So at Comet, we run games on chains. That's our main activity. We create games that run on chain. So it's a pretty radical approach, and that brings a lot of problems, because you have to run the engine inside the chain. But that's also R&D for us. We have a new game coming up. It's in public beta. You can try it now, even on your phone. And we connect this game with multiple NFTs, with multiple stuff, with multiple DeFi partners as well. And we create features to showcase other people NFTs in the game. So if you have cool NFTs or anything, or if you have your own collections, please reach out. We can do things together. But we also help multiple projects bring their games to life, or brings their games to Web3. So we have an engine that allows you to craft, to do rentals. We have more than 7,000 rentals that have been taken on our system, DeFi index service, marketplace, and so on. So if you're building something or want to use something that's gaming related in your project, let us know, we can help. And during HCC, we have these cool collections. I'll just display the QR code at the end if you're interested. So if we read the white papers, when there is a white paper, or if you read the website of NFT collections, very often we see this gimmick in terms of NFTs. The roadmap is, we are going to release a game. Yay. So that's super appealing, that's super interesting from a collector perspective, or a gamer perspective. But to be fair, when you start with the art and then you think about the game, you end up with multiple problems. Producing a game is quite similar to producing a movie, except that you sometimes have to create your own camera. You sometimes have to work on the script or work on a game design document, and not everybody knows what it is. Not everybody knows that it will evolve as time goes. And funding can be an issue. If you think about the AAA games like Call of Duty or something, we are talking about the tens of millions or the hundreds of millions. If you're talking about an indie game, it takes a lot of work from a single or group of individuals that are super dedicated on what they do. So if you just minted 10,000 NFTs at 0.1 ETH and the market is going down and you take only 5% on the secondary volume, you're probably going to have problems to deliver that. But your problem doesn't stop here, and let me get into that. Yet, when we look at a collection or NFT, or when we look at the usability of NFTs, the idea of using those assets inside games or inside digital universes is super appealing. Even from the perspective of a person that's anti-blockchain for no reason, it's super hard to argue against that. If you are using your asset inside a game, you are logging in with your wallet, so no need for a centralized party to let you log in. If you are logging in with blockchain, you are like, okay, I'm using my 0x or my ENS name as a username, so I don't have to make sure that Jerome is available as a surname in the game. You let the app read what you have in terms of NFTs, so interpret it and customize your experience. Let's say you have a sandbox NFT, and when you go play Cometh, you have access to a super exclusive level, for example, and that's super appealing. You can enjoy your overpriced JPEG as avatars or stuff that creates digital experience for you. And of course, well, we think that that Sandbox or Cometh are not going to be evil with your data, not going to parse the blockchain all the way and try to figure out what the pattern is and try to de-anonymize you. But sometimes things can happen. And overall, you can also trust the publisher not to take control of your assets. You still have control of them, and you can trade them, you can make them, and so on. Well, if you think about the Sandbox NFTs, which are really cool, it doesn't really fit in every context, right? If you look at Bored Ape Yacht Club, it doesn't really fit in any context. So thinking about context for games, these kind of games works. Like Super Smash Bros. Melee, you have Pikachu, you have Bowser, you have Link, everybody's fighting and everybody's using different items and everything works. We are all happy to have this all-star showdown and using all of our different characters that are not yet NFTs for most of them, play against each other. But this is arguably, well, what is Mario doing in the middle of Elden Ring? And that's the kind of criticism that we hear a lot about gaming industry. Oh, JPEGs or just NFTs are just JPEGs, and it's get rich fast. It's a money grab. I'm a game designer. I don't want people to own what I've created for my game. I don't want people to bring things for other IP in my game. I want to protect my IPs and so on. That's a good critics. That's a legitimate critics. This is arguably better. So you have Mario in an armor, and it still has some limitations because I'm not sure which engine they are using in Elden Ring, but probably this very character, as it has been coded by the Nintendo team, is not compatible with the engine that is being used in Elden Ring. And graphing engine and brings immersive constraints. Like you need to have multiple facets of your NFTs. You need to have multiple type of metadata that your NFT support, whether it is the version 1, the one you bought initially at the minting, when it's the version 2, when the team raised some money, when it's the version 3, version 4, and so on. So you get everything from super pixel style, which can be seen as a CryptoPunk. We just reconstruct everything from the chain, up to like, oh, it's super detailed, it's Unreal Engine 5 style, and it's super great. Well, that brings a lot more of artwork and hard dedication and art investment to be able to support multiple constraints. So you want to be able to open up this to your community or even maybe potentially externalize that at some point. But that also means that you need to be able to store those different facets somewhere people can read it. Let people and other creators or modders interpret that and do something with it. So we've been trying to do that for our own NFTs, where you have the original NFT, you have a basic rendering, you have an enhanced rendering, you have a 3D modeling, and try to figure out how we can figure out a way to expose that properly so that anybody can query our API and be like, okay, I want the Unity version of it, I want the engine version of it. And building that for ourselves, we realized that it's kind of hard to figure out the right way to expose that and to standardize that. Well, that was a problem that we faced, and we hope that if you face it as well, let's talk. We have solutions in mind, and we'd like to have them challenged. But more importantly, by trying to read everything that a single wallet had, and in order to bring an immersive experience or special experience for the players, we realized that there was a lot of discrepancies in how the metadata are exposed. This is a screenshot from our game, and there is a button here called NFT. If you click on this button, we scan everything you have in your wallet, and we let you use your NFTs as stickers, just like you have stickers on Telegram. Being able to say, like, I love these cocktails NFT. I'll be like, I want to chill. You did a bad move. Like, here, take a cocktail. Or I'm always showing these small TV NFT because I find the design cool. I want to chill it when people are not playing. Well, we realized that a lot of those NFTs were not queryable or hard to query. And our first way of doing partnerships with other NFT collections was to create special effects when someone was playing one of those NFTs. So we did something with a movie called Blood Machines, French sci-fi movie. And when you play an NFT from this collection, there is a video that loads and you see bump on the screen and so on. That's a cool thing. Like you can think about it like you have a music NFT, you want to change the music and expose your bad taste in music in your opponent. Yeah, let's do that. That's immersive experience, but we need to be able to read that properly. And it turns out it's a pretty damn job, hard job, to read what's happening in the blockchain and render that in an API that's standardized and exposed everything. So just by checking out our own benchmarking, we did try 9 different APIs, and there are maybe 15 of them available at the moment from Alchemy, Moralis, Venly, OpenSea, BlockDemon is doing something as well. QuickNode, Infura now is doing something. Nobody has plugged every hole. Checking a wallet and asking any of those API what is in those wallets, you always find holes and you have to plug themselves. So we like to explore, and holes are cool to explore, so we did some digging. Here's an example. Same artist that did the TV I like. It's super cheap NFTs, yet you can see this hockey stick thing, like it's going from 7 to 8 now. This artist is currently in hospital in Ukraine, and well, you can check out what she does. She's very, very talented, I think. And those NFTs were exposed on Polygon, so you were able to buy them on Polygon. It was a gashapon machine. You put a coin in it, and you get the NFT. The rare one, that's just too rare. You can get them. It's a bummer. But the NFTs themselves were distributed on Polygon. Yet when you look at the metadata, you're like, well, this is the Polygon contract. I'm asking for this specific ID of the NFT, and I'm getting nothing. So can you guess where the metadata is actually stored? Off-chain in a server? Yeah, but where should I find that? So looking at the API from OpenSea, I think that's OpenSea and Alchemy rendering the same thing. They tell us it's on IPFS. Yeah, but how did you know it was on IPFS? Where can I find the source? Where is the source of truth here? And the source of truth is actually on layer 1, of course. Not at the same contract address also, because usually when you bridge your NFT to another chain or to L2, the team behind the L2 or the other chain will be kind enough to bring the address at the same time, or at the same address, to bring the contract at the same address, so you're not messing up everything. So super tough, like where to find that. Sometimes it's a lot of digging, it's a lot of things to explore. And it's stupidly hard. I found this meme with this guy says, if you can't describe your job in 3 words, it's a bullshit job. So I create system to record blockchain data. Yeah, it's potentially a bullshit job, but it's super hard. So here's some hiccups. So if you like hard problem to tackle and you have free time or want to build a startup, lack of files extension as a standard. Super tough. Like everybody is using SVG, JPEG, sometimes GIF, sometimes MP4, like whatever. Multiple file extensions is not standardized as well. Like sometimes someone that would say, my spaceship in 2D is this, spaceship in 3D is that, spaceship in 3D on Unity is this. There's no standard way to do that. IPFS opens something for you to do that, but it's not widely used and not widely standardized. L2 NFT contract can be mapped everywhere. We don't have any public record of where is everything. We have seen in the past centralized or decentralized storage that stopped to host. So you bought an NFT, you have the very ID on the blockchain, but you don't have the metadata anymore because the storage disappeared because the project rugged or went bankrupt. OpenSea is storing the image of the NFT it lists in a super big bucket. Do you want to create this big bucket, or shall we all rely on OpenSea? They just laid off 20% of the people they hired to store our own JPEGs. Well, and one problem with APIs is that oftentimes your IP address is leaking when you are querying this API. So tough things, and the API is incomplete. So I'm personally super convinced, and I hope that you are convinced as well, that this whole adoption of NFTs and blockchain is going to go through people being able to use those NFTs in different contexts. If you like just the art portion of the NFT, you can say, well, I don't care about usage. I like the usage because I don't need usage because I like the form of art it represents. Yet if you buy an expensive TV that do a brief rendering of your art, potentially this beautiful TV will not be able to read the SVJ format or the format that the artist has used initially. So you should be worried about that. In order to realize this future paradise, we need to be able to provide metadata availability at scale, really at scale, and complete also. And we need to bring context interoperability, because things that will be used in different games has to be supported in different formats. So I've been trying to buy metadata.eth. It's quite expensive. I've been trying to buy NFT.eth. It's even more expensive. But at some point, we can all agree about maybe a resolver, saying this is the format of resolving to the different metadata that I host on my NFT collection, and you just have to get your name .nft collection that you like .eth and create your own metadata. So with my team, we'll be working on creating this kind of resolver, and if you'd like to help or be involved, let us know. We're super happy to collaborate. Thank you. This was my talk. If you don't know what to do tonight, we are having a Future of Gaming event on our boat, so feel free to pass by. There will be cool people from SaintSafe, Chronos, Lighthouse, and Comet. And Camif as well. We will serve Meteor beer because it exists. If you want to find me on social media, that's my handle. And if you want to look at our collabs for HCC, that's where you can find it. Any questions? And thank you for coming in the middle of the lunch. I know everybody's starving now.